Hello everybody, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. I'm going to be starting a very short mini-series. In this video, we're going to go ahead and let me explain it really quick, the series basically. We are going to go ahead and go over all of the units that I want to kind of point out, some of the top units basically, that are worthy of getting your Elder Kais among the AGL units. But there are some restrictions / stipulations on this. First and foremost, I'm only factoring in the cards that have Shattering the Limit or Fierce Battle. There might be some very, very good cards that are just SSRs, for example, that haven't rebirthed yet. Not going to go that deep. There's too many units in this game for me to really sit there and do that, but I did try to make it as comprehensive with those restrictions in mind. Otherwise, I'm not going to be taking a look at the very, very obvious ones, like your LRs. They're always worth your Kais. I mean, the thing is, some of them might be farmable. If you can farm them, sure. Otherwise, you're going to need to use your Kais. So there's kind of that. And then, of course, the Dokkan Festival exclusives were removed from this list as well because I felt like a lot of them were pretty much self-explanatory. Same reason as LRs. They can either be farmed or they can't, by using other card variants that have the same name, basically. So, like your Vegito Blue, Tech Vegito Blue, you can use other Vegito Blue cards to raise his super attack if you have the dupes, of course. You might want to keep him if you don't. Physical Vegito Blue, for example, still really good. But just for an example, I mean, he's amazing. Of course, if you don't have that, maybe you would want to consider giving him Kais. So I did try to do that, and I tried to remove those types of characters that, like I said, were mainly like obvious that you would know, basically. So again, these are the characters that had Shattering the Limit that I did consider for the video, and then these are the ones that had Fierce Battle that I considered for the video. And again, the ones that were 100% farmable and or Dokkan Festival exclusive, like Turles. He's fully farmable. He has an event. You can grab this STR, Turles, and raise his super attack. Those types of characters, literally, again, did not get consideration. You didn't. This guy, cards like him that you need to use other versions of them, like you have to use this Vegeta or other Super Saiyan Blue Vegetas. Sure, like just for future reference, sure. Like they are worth the Kais, of course. But again, amazing unit. Did I get my point across? So, anyways, first one on my list is Zealous Offensive Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Now, this card, and first and foremost, you're going to see a lot of kind of the same types of trends. He's one of the characters that has Fierce Battle. He's amazing, right? He's able to output a lot of damage. He's also available to be on the Super Saiyan 3 category team, which, of course, is one of the hardest hitting teams in the game, of course. So if you can offer this unit Kais, you would like to give him Kais. Now, not to say that for any of the units on this list, there are not alternatives that have the same names, because there are, other Gokus that are in the game you can use to raise his cards SA. Now, he's not farmable. You'd have to use summonable cards, but still, nonetheless, well, actually, he kind of is farmable because there's that physical one that's kind of common that Dokkan awakens into, this guy right here. He's kind of, but not really. But yeah, either way, this guy is amazing. Like, he outputs a lot of damage. I've actually done a showcase of him at 100%, doing millions of damage. A very good tank as well. Definitely in that top tier of units that's not Dokkan Festival exclusive, like way in the top tier. He's really, really good. And very balanced as well, and very solid link set. He's also available for the Pure Saiyans team if you want to run him on that team as well. Key multiplier is very high and raises attack for 3 turns. So, pretty solid. Anyways, my most recent unit that I showcased actually is this bow. Now, if you want to check that out, if you want to check out some of these, they should be in the card section in the top right corner, the little eye in a circle in the top corner, and they might also pop on the screen in the last few seconds of the video. But the thing about Dispo is he's a character that is able to continually stack his attack. Each turn, in and out, he starts stacking his attack. So actually, the funny thing about Dispo is probably him more so than any other character on this list. He's kind of subjective, because one might argue that you don't have to go out of your way to rush to give Dispo Kais, even though he can be really, really good, because ultimately, Dispo can get pretty good even without Kais. That's the funny thing about this character. They all can be really good, but if they're all kind of all SA1, Dispo is ultimately going to be the best one. Like every character on this list, they all can be good at SA1, but he's going to be the best ultimately because he's going to continually get an attack increase via his super attack and his passive. At the start of each turn, he gets 20% more. Not to mention, he also has some defensive viability because of the fact that he's able to dodge. He's also available to be on the Universe Survival Saga team, which is not the hardest hitting, but it's a very, very well balanced category via that it's a fact that it's a 150, I believe, across the board leader skill. So, very good. Testing shown that attack boost can stack indefinitely. Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, his attack is for all intents and purposes, limitless. Now, in my video that I did yesterday, I talked about how, like, after, like, 50 turns, he's basically going to be, like, the hardest hitter in the game. But I totally forgot that there's a real hardest hitter in the game after 50 turns who launches several attacks a turn, Tech Vegito Blue. But this guy's going to be, like, at least top 3 after, like, 50 turns of gameplay, if that ever happens. So, again, this Bo's amazing unit, totally worth consideration. And like I said earlier, probably subjective, you know, because he could still be really good, but of course you'd want him to be better than really good. It's kind of like the same reasons you would want to give Tech Vegito Blue KAIS for the most part. Ultimately, the man can start just outputting insane damage at SA1, but you'd still want to make it better, right? So kind of the same thing, and this character is able to output very well. So moving on to the next character is Boundless Potential, Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla. You guys can kind of see who my characters are, but I like to think you guys care about what I have to say. First and foremost, solid leader skill. I like that type of leader skill. Supreme damage. She raises her defense. This is a very defensive unit, boosting her defense per super. Otherwise, each time she, you know, well, actually, no. Each time she launches a super, she gets the defense boost. But via her passive, she's able to dodge each time she's attacked. So, high chance to evade enemies' attacks, which includes super attacks, or a medium chance to evade and counter. So, she's able to either dodge at a 50% clip or a 25% clip and actually counter that hit. So, yeah, when it comes to super attacks, there's a lot of actually stuff in here. Caulifla has a high chance of 50% to evade a regular attack and super attack because, yes, she can dodge without countering the super attack. She has an additional medium chance to evade super attacks and counter them. So, her total chance of evading a super attack is 65% because of the way probability works. So, she's able to dodge super attacks 65% of the time. That's wild. So, it says right here, when receiving a super attack, her 50% chance to evade activates first. If unsuccessful, the medium chance to evade and counter will activate, considering her medium chance as a backup for super attacks, and the counter attack is a perk. So, counter attacks can be critical hits, yada yada. She also is farmable. Now that I think about it, she's farmable. So, I totally forgot about this unit. So, she gets eliminated from my list, actually. Sorry, Caulifla. Phenomenal unit, but you get eliminated. I forgot about the STR Caulifla entirely. So, yeah, great unit, but sorry, Caulifla. I'm sorry. Oh, man. But she's great. But I was going to say, though, one little thing about that is I've mentioned before how abilities roll off individually. You would think that, you know, they stack like her passive. She has like an 80% chance or whatever. That's not how it works. And the same thing goes for the potential system. If you were to give her, you know, a level 5 dodge, for example, then it would roll both of them. Well, it would roll her 2 passives first. If they fail, then she'd get her 5% chance rolled, and maybe that would work. And that's how that type of, you know, game functions. That's how that type of mechanic functions in the game. So Goku here, he's another one of those cards that can be kind of like semi-farm, like the Goku SS3 I was talking about earlier, because there is a, you know, a version of the character that is available in the game. But again, you have to summon this card. He's not free. He's not, you know, from an event. So I didn't want to go that far into it and kind of restrict those types of characters, because the reality is, again, you have to summon this guy. But then when you do summon him, he does Dokkan Awaken into this guy with a lot of medals, actually, I think. You know, and yeah, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, you know, 5, 3, whatever. So I didn't want to restrict him because of that. But yeah, the reality is he can, just like just about every other character in the game at this point, can be used with another card to raise his super attack. So raises attack basically indefinitely. You know, when he launches a super attack, there's no turn restriction, 80% attack and defense. Very, very vanilla, but also very, very good, actually. Available to be on Realm of Gods, which is really good category, Universe Survival Saga, and Pure Saiyans. Don't really have much to say about this guy because he's very self-explanatory. Like, he's really good, and that's all it really breaks down to. There's nothing else that really needs to be said in terms of this character. Probably the best character on this list. So, moving on to the next guy is Time's Guidance, Super Saiyan Xeno Trunks. This character is an AGL type character, only available in Hybrid Saiyans. Supreme damage and raises attack for 6 turns. 6 turns stack is a definite plus. Totally love that type of passive. Not only that, he's self-sufficient and gets 80%, a modest 80%, because, you know, you don't want to dip below 90%, especially if you're a unit that doesn't have Fierce Battle as well, but 80% is modest, right? It's kind of like that bare minimum that I would want a unit to have to even consider giving them KAIS, right? And I think he makes it onto the team because of that. Also, a solid link package and having Super Saiyan and not over in Flash, excuse me, Prepare for Battle. and Golden Warrior, that standard Super Saiyan package he can utilize, and having the 2 key in case he's on a team that doesn't really cater to his link set. So I think that he makes the team because of that. Otherwise, he's probably the most fringe character that I had. He was honestly a last-second inclusion. So probably the most fringe character on the team because there are negatives to this character. Because, again, no Fierce Battle, which is a definite minus. 80%. If it was 100%, sure. But 80%, not very good, and stuff like that. And key multiplier is pretty bad. 135, pretty bad. That's pretty bad. It's not bad. It's just kind of like average. So, and then I want to go ahead and give honorable mentions. So, my honorable mention goes to this character and characters like him. Really, this type of character is the type of character that you should go out of your way to focus on. When it comes to KAIS, you know, assuming that the character isn't farmable, this type of character is the type of character you would want to focus on. You know, and the reason why is because 90% plus is a really good match. You know, and there are other characters like this. Oh, by the way, I eliminated Extreme Z Awakens because naturally this character would have been on the list too. Who's another character just like that Goten. The characters that have these types of passives, they just output really well. They're like the hardest hitting cards, or among the hardest hitting like Fierce Battle having cards in the game, especially if they have an attack stack here and stuff like that. In this character right here is no different, right? Raises attack, supreme damage, 90%, 40% defense up. You know, Extreme Z Awakenable, so he's got that SA level 15. And characters like that, honorable mention, they totally deserve to be in consideration. You know, and probably more so than a character like the Trunks. Like I said, he was a fringe. But I did want to give these types of characters the notice, because if you're giving them KAIS, you're giving them KAIS for their output. So, anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is there anybody else that I might have missed? Probably so. But I did want to kind of limit myself to like maybe 5 or 6 characters. Didn't want to have a, you know, full 10 list or stuff like that. I wanted to really limit it so it didn't get kind of out of hand. But we will be back, of course. We will be I can't talk today. We will be back with the other colors very soon. Anyways, guys, hope you all enjoyed, though. Nonetheless, subscribe if you happen to be new to the channel. I'll catch you guys in the next one.